And welcome back to Pew to Power. I'm Mike Dean. He's Football Joe. And we are now done with the Falcons. Great win, but we are going to go on to the Indianapolis Colts. And Jim Caldwell, the coach, has got a real big job here ahead of him because no Peyton Manning. He's done for the season. That's finalized. Well, according to Irsay, maybe not, but he's done.
And listen, not just him. Kerry Collins has a concussion and very well could not play in this game.
Who's the quarterback?
Which leaves Curtis Painter.
Who?
Curtis Painter.
I don't know.
I don't even know who he is.
Yeah. He's a journeyman quarterback. I mean, he's been a backup for a long time. So
never played.
You know, and I honestly feel bad for the Colts, but let's take this into consideration. They played Pitt, and they didn't look bad.
No, they lost 23-20.
Yeah.
Is how they lost that game. Now, they're 0-3. 2 of the 3 games they were in right to the end. Mm-hmm. And this game, Pittsburgh kicked a field goal with 3 seconds left. So, I mean, it certainly was a tie game right to the very end. Actually, Indy scored with less than 2 minutes left. And then Pittsburgh got the ball, got down there.
And that was Painter bringing them down.
And that was Painter bringing them back down.
Got to be aware of it. They still have weapons. I mean, you still got to have weapons. Garcon.
Listen, the last time we played the Indianapolis Colts on Monday Night Football, we got crushed. We crushed them for 3.5 quarters.
Yeah, we were fast started then.
Yeah, and then and Peyton Manning, who is no longer there, tore Tampa Bay apart, tore Aqib Talib apart.
Yep.
So he was knocked out of the game in the middle of the 3rd quarter, and that was the end of the game for Tampa because they had scored 4 touchdowns late in the game, won the game. I could 2 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Well, I think, Kerry Collins, I'm actually wishing Kerry Collins comes in there because, to be honest with you, he's only completed 49% of his passes. He's averaging less than 5 yards per attempt, 2 TDs, 1 interception. He's lost 3 fumbles, and he's been sacked 5 times. Woo! I mean, I want Kerry Collins, to be honest with you.
Well, then let's talk about that. Let's get right into the keys of the game.
Let's do it. First key of the game.
My first key of the game is to slow down the Indy pass rush. They didn't finish all that on there, but it's actually the pass rush.
Okay.
Last week, Indy's pass rush is what kept them in the game against Pittsburgh. They were all over Roethlisberger during that game.
3 sacks. Dwight Feeney had 2, and Robert Mathis had 1, both defensive ends.
Exactly. And you've got to find a way to protect Josh Freeman. He's already having a so-so year to start, kind of interception prone, I almost want to say, this year so far. Mm-hmm. So we need to keep him off of him. So he has a few more minutes to look around, survey the field. I think they need to do a lot more dink and dunk passing this week and open up that running game because the running game is there against the Indianapolis Colts.
Okay. What's number 3?
Number 2.
I'm sorry, number 2.
Number 2 is get Josh Freeman on track. We're right back to what we talked about before. Josh Freeman is a key to this game. He has got to be able to throw the ball. Pittsburgh is a running football team, correct?
Correct.
With Mendenhall, they run the ball, They had 341 yards passing in that game, and that's why they won. They did not win on the run, they won on the pass.
Well, they had Mendenhall down. I mean, he only got 87 yards on 20 attempts the whole
So listen, they
thing.
just have to find a way to pass the ball against this Indy team. Indy's secondary is decimated. They have no secondary left.
Right.
So you've got to find a way to get the ball down the field. 15, 20, 25-yard passes. That's where they're going to be the weakest. They do play the Tampa 2, Indy does. So they should know exactly how to attack it without any question at all. So there should be no reason they can't attack that defense and score some points this week.
Let's ask the question now. Cody Grimm, safety, out.
Yeah, he is out.
Season gone. Sean Jones is in there. Tenard Jackson,
We will see. That's up to Roger Goodell at this point to see whether he's going to be allowed back into the league.
Yeah, if you don't know, Tenard Jackson was suspended by the league, but he's trying to be reinstated, and we're going to see what happens. Hopefully we can get that done because that would help us in the backfield.
Yep, and also my last key to the game, number 3, score touchdowns. Listen, last week they had a heck of a time. They were in the red zone 4 or 5 times. I think they got 3 field goals and 1 touchdown out of that and an interception. And Raheem Morris said it in the press conference, which you heard earlier in the show, they have got to score touchdowns in the red zone. Yeah. They cannot carry the ball that far down and leave it an opportunity for a team that has a decent offense, even without Peyton Manning, to score points quickly. They cannot put themselves in that position.
Atlanta, they were down there 4 times, came out with 9 points, and that's just not good. You're not going to be able to win that in the NFL like that.
Right. Field goals are not going to win games against teams like Indianapolis.
What about Joseph Adai? Think he's going to be anything?
If they can
86
stop
yards.
Michael Turner, they can stop Joseph
I
Adai.
agree
So
with
there
that.
is no reason that this week they don't have a really good week against the run.
Offensive line, though, only gave up 1 sack to Pittsburgh, and that's a pretty good rush on Pittsburgh, too.
Indianapolis has always had a good offensive line because Peyton Manning is injury prone.
Right.
Very clearly. So they have a huge, brawling offensive line that has done a great job protecting their quarterbacks. But they're not a great run blocking team. They're a great pass blocking team, and there's a big difference. When you watch the game, you see pretty simply, if you're looking at and they hike the ball, you see them back up into like a U shape.
Yeah.
They're doing that
That's
to
their
protect
pocket.
the quarterback.
That's their pocket.
That's their pocket. If you're doing a running game, you are pushing forward and pushing holes open. They are not that type of team. They're a team that everything runs off the pass. So they are built to make that U and then find a little run spot in between if they're going to run the ball. So they have a great chance this week to get some pressure on Mr. Painter or Mr. Collins, depending on which quarterback's in the game.
We're hoping it's Collins.
I hope it's Collins, too.
I do, too.
I'd much rather it be Collins. He's slower.
Yeah.
And we need Bowers and
What is he,
Claiborne and
43
Price.
now? Is he 43?
Yeah,
Kerry Collins, 43 years old.
He was using a walker when they brought him in for the training. So for the
He's not using it now. He's using a wheelchair because he can't see.
yeah, he
He's got
had a rough
concussion.
week. He got pounded pretty hard by Pittsburgh. So there's a good chance that if he does play, 1 or 2 shots, 1 or 2 sacks, and he'll be out of the game.
Well, right now the defense is ranked 19th overall. Still not bad. I mean, for the third game in, but 22nd in the rush, 113 yards, 251 yards given up on defense, ranked number 18th.
Well, and we just played one of the best teams for passing the football, the Atlanta Falcons. They have one of the number 1 picks in the draft last year, and they've got Roddy White, and they've got the tight end Tony Gonzalez. So they have a great group of receivers and a wonderful quarterback. Matt Ryan's one of the best in the league. So,
we pressured him good.
we pressured him, we hit him. They hit him a lot.
A lot.
And we talked about that when we were sitting in the press box. We were up there going, man, I can't believe he's getting hit so much because they never hit the quarterback that much. But I think that defensive line's starting to gel a little bit.
I do too, and I really feel comfortable with that. I really feel good about that because I think that's going to be the next step. That is the mindset of Raheem Morris, is having those interchangeable guys. So, all right, well, we're going to come back on our next segment, and Joe's got his question of the week. We're going to go around the NFL first and get some scores going for him. And, of course, he's going to get to his bonehead.
I have the bonehead of the
keep
century.
saying it.
I'm saving it. I'm saving it for the next segment. Best ever. Best ever. Don't go away. You don't want to miss it.
Okay.